Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I can't believe Easter is coming up already this weekend.
I love Easter.
Well, you know, that's really cool. I love Easter, too. It's amazing to me that it's already here. Seems like we just finished Christmas, so... Coming up later in the program, we've got a guest going to be visiting with Jordan Goodman, America's Money Answers Man. And you know what else is going on this weekend?
What's that?
Tax time. So we're going to be talking about taxes this weekend because, you know, the 15th is tomorrow already. Holy cow. Got a good quote for today from Teddy Roosevelt. It says, "Far better is it to dare mightily things, to win glorious triumphs, even though checkered by failure, than to rank with those poor spirits who neither enjoy much nor suffer much, because they live in a gray twilight that knows not victory nor defeat."
Okay.
We don't speak like that anymore, do we?
No, we don't.
I think basically what he's saying is it's better to try and fail than not even try and just be a loser without even trying. But I said it a whole lot easier than he did. All right. You know why we don't buy macadamia nuts in their shell?
Why?
Because it takes 300 pounds per square inch of pressure to break the shell.
Oh.
So you'd have to like hammer those babies open. So that's why when you buy macadamia nuts, they're always ready for you. There you go. A couple of fun things that we learned right now. And we've got more fun stuff on the way on a Friday.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
It's Friday, April the 14th. I mean, I thought you'd never ask. Let's get to this. I just can't say this with a straight face. It's America Fancy Rat and Mouse Day. What the heck is a fancy rat and mouse? Children with Alopecia Day. Dictionary Day. Going to have to look that up and see what that means. It's also International Moment of Laughter Day. It is National Dolphin Day. Do you like dolphins?
I love dolphins.
I thought you might like dolphins. National Ex-Spouses Day. We got some calls to make. National Pecan Day. Pan-American Day. Pathologist's Assistant Day. What? Pathologist Assistant's Day? That is very specific.
That is extremely...
That's got to be down to like
just be assistant
fraction.
day?
I don't know, but apparently they felt like they needed a day. And it's World Marbles Day. All of that going on this Friday, April the 14th.
John and Heidi.
How much do you pay for cable or satellite? Don't forget your DVR rental fees and online movie accounts. When you add it all up, many people are paying well over $100 a month. Some pay way more. What if you could cut that down to zero? There's a device that surfs the net to find shows and programs you like with no monthly fee. Many have already cut their cable or tossed out their dish. If you have internet and a TV, you're all set. Learn more about this awesome technology that can save you money every month at channelsurfertv.com. Use promo code RADIO to save 25% at channelsurfertv.com.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. This story comes from Poland. The police in Poland are trying to force their citizens to stop swearing by doling out fines. Guess how much the fine is if you get caught swearing in public in Poland?
How much?
A public Poland curse word will cost you $160.
Huh.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. Officers say they've already collected thousands of dollars, and they say the country is more, quote, peaceful, end quote, as a result of it. More peaceful? Okay, I suppose. It says the fines were introduced after a growing number of complaints that there was too much foul language being used in public. We told Markowski's, probably didn't say any of that right. It's a Polish name. The head of the Warsaw City Police said he and his officers noticed an increase in swearing on the streets until they finally just merely had enough of it. They said they talk to people and they give them a small lecture. However, the fine seems to be working so much better than the lecture. $160 fine. They said they may continue well into next year with these fines. They're trying to get people to clean up their act. That's happening in Poland, Warsaw, Poland. Again, the police in Poland are fining people for swearing in public $160. There's a lot of P's there. Poland, public, police, swearing. I guess that's not a P. So
Profanity.
Profanity. Yeah, see? Heidi's mind works just in amazing ways. She's probably got a lot of things that she's wanting to say right now that she can't say because I see that smile on her face. We're going to just leave it right there, though. Anyway, if you're going to head to Poland, leave your curse words at home. Otherwise, it'll cost you $160 in fines. And you know it's true because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
And this is your brain on drugs. Police surrounded a stolen car that finally had ran out of gas. They were chasing him. This was happening in Westboro, Massachusetts. They were chasing the man. He ran out of gas. Car comes to a bit of a screeching halt. Driver Ronald D. Raymond told them... What?
Nothing.
Told them... What? Ronald D. Raymond?
Nothing.
I don't know what's funny about the guy's name. He said, hold on a minute. Let me finish my beer. So... They surrounded the car. They were trying to get him out. He waited until his beer was gone before he unlocked the door.
I don't blame him. It's going to be a while before he gets another one.
I just think it's interesting. First of all, he stole a car. That's bad. Second of all, he was drinking and driving, which is also bad. And then when the cops get there, it's a good thing they didn't break the windows out because it wasn't his car.
I mean, he's already in trouble.
Yeah.
So you might as well go for the gold,
Yeah,
really.
whatever. Yeah, hold on a minute. I actually have a story that kind of goes with us that we're going to get to later in the program. So stick around. That's coming up during your Scoop of the Day, and that's on the way. We've got your moment of duh coming up before that.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh. A letter from a hospital to a patient might be today's moment of duh. This one is Hospital of Coventry. I think that's in England. Anyway, they sent Ronald Cooksey a letter informing him that he is a non-emergency patient, and this was trying to let him know that your chances of surviving are really good. There's a big difference between you and people who are really in an emergency. Here's where the problem comes in, Heidi.
Okay.
He was dead when the letter got there. So this was over in England. They said, no, non-emergency.
I think we've talked about that before. I remember that
Yeah.
because I remember thinking I'm very fortunate that we have the healthcare system that we have.
So this was in England in
Because
hospital
to
in
be
Coventry.
put on a waiting list there.
So they said, yours is a non-emergency. It's not a big deal. We're going to get to you when we get to you. But when it got there, he was dead, and his family is now talking to a lawyer.
Oh,
So
I would be too.
they're like, yeah, see, he could have probably been saved, but this non-emergency heart problem that he had killed him while he was waiting to get fixed. And that's why we made it our moment of duh.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now your Scoop of the Day. Got a couple of stories that have to do with airplanes today. We also have a story that kind of partners up with our Brain on Drugs story earlier, so we better dive right in. First of all, a family intending to fly from New York to Florida kept getting bumped from one flight to another. Each time Delta paid them, guess how much dough they got by the time they got home?
How much?
$11,000.
That's amazing. I would totally take the bump every single time if I was getting paid.
Because every time they're like, would somebody volunteer to do it? They're like, well, we're not in a huge rush. If you want, we'll do it, but you better make it worth our while. So
Yeah.
by the time they got home,
That's amazing.
$11,000. Now, there was also recently some news about a guy that didn't want to get off the plane. It says here, United responds after the video showing the man being dragged. It says, United Airlines has apologized for dragging a passenger off a flight on Sunday. The CEO of the company said they were sorry they had to reaccommodate the customers. Reaccommodate? That's not a good way to reaccommodate. And I'm sure you've seen that video by now. If not, there is a link on our Facebook page. And I don't like sharing that kind of stuff because it's negative. But I want to make sure I have it there because, for those of you who've not seen it and you don't know what I'm talking about, it's going to be kind of tough to understand why we even shared that story.
I've actually, though, been looking into that a little bit, and there is another side to that story that, of course, is not being shared that we're not seeing. They didn't just go and pick up a random guy in a seat, knock him out, and drag him off the plane. That's not what went down. They asked him to leave. He refused. They asked again for him to leave. He refused. And he jumped up and took off running towards a secured part of the plane, screaming at the top of his lungs.
I saw
and
a
then
video.
They feared for...
No. Did you see video of that? Because I saw a video from the guy in the seat behind him when they grabbed him and dragged him. There was no running. There was a video from the seat behind him where they videotaped what happened. So that, I think there's a lot of fake news out there, Heidi. I think you might have got some fake news.
No, there's more to it than that, though.
All right,
Because
we'll see if we can find it. We'll have all of that on our Facebook page as well. But we better keep moving. In the wake of the video showing the passenger being forcibly removed. Now, again, this all happened last Sunday. United Airlines has established a bunch of new policies now, too. So they're saying like, the policies are a little more clear. One more story from an airplane. A couple left their daughter behind on an airplane after landing in a Chinese city. After parents boarded the plane with their 10-year-old daughter, she sat alone at the back of the plane during the entire flight. When the aircraft landed, the parents got off the plane during a routine check after the flight. Cabin crew found the girl sitting in the back sleeping.
Aww.
Here's my question. If mom and dad were sitting next to each other, why not have mom or dad sit in the back and the daughter sit next to a parent?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that make more sense?
And that's probably the way it should have been
That's
done.
exactly the way it should have been done. I cannot believe that they would have their 10-year-old daughter sitting in the back of the plane just taking a nap. Really? Does that seem weird to you, or is it just me?
That seems very weird to me.
I think that seems really weird. All right. Now, earlier we talked about a guy who got pulled over. This was during the Brain on Drugs segment. Guy got pulled over for stealing a car, and then when the police got up there, he wouldn't roll his window down until he finished his beer. He said, let me finish my beer. And Heidi said, he knew he was going to jail. Weird enough, listen to this. Police in Connecticut arrested a driver wearing a shirt reading, "Hold my beer," after he crashed his car into a cemetery wall.
Oh.
Now, it doesn't say that he was drinking, but that's what his shirt said, "Hold my beer," which, if you're going to get pulled over and, have a mugshot, that's exactly what you want. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I just want you to look at this photo. I'm done with my case. Go ahead and figure out the rest of it. And then our final story, since that ended at a cemetery, a Florida company that specializes in releasing doves at funerals will have to find a couple of replacements. During a recent graveside service, 3 doves were released. The cemetery is right next to a highway. Within seconds of release, a couple of the doves were smashed by a passing truck. How sad is that? So
What do you mean they have to find new ones? It's not like they go around and collect the doves. The doves fly away.
No, the doves come back. They trained.
Come back?
Yes, they're trained.
They're boomerang doves?
No, it's not like they just have a place where those doves come and land. You think that they just have an endless supply of doves?
Well, I would think they charge enough to cover their cost of goods, is what I think.
I may be wrong on this. We'll have to check into that as well. We got a lot of work to do from this scoop of the day. Thanks for listening on a Friday.
John and Heidi.
Imagine the sand between your toes and an ice-cold drink in your hand. Join us this November for 80s in the Sand.
Week-long event with 80s music from over a dozen awesome bands.
Plus, meet 80s icons from the movies like Anthony Michael Hall, Andrew McCarthy, and several others.
Get all the details at 80sinthesand.com.
Use promo code RADIO to get a $200 immediate refund per person.
The website is 80sinthesand.com.
Book your week-long 80s vacation right now at 80sinthesand.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Tomorrow is tax day, and I've got somebody on the line right now that's got some great ideas for those of you that are getting like a huge refund back. He has some ideas on what you might be able to do to make that even grow some more. We've got Jordan Goodman, America's Money Answers Man. Jordan, how are you today?
Great to be with you again on just about tax day, John.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, this is a time of year that there are some people that are super excited. Hey, it's tax day. I got money coming back. And there's others that are going, oh, no, it's tax day. I got to pay in. So which one of those should we talk to first? The ones that are paying in or the ones that are getting back?
Let's talk about the ones getting back first, because they think what they're doing by getting such a big refund is a great way to save, and it's actually the worst way to save, John. Okay, when you're getting a big refund, it means you've been over withholding and giving an interest-free loan to Uncle Sam, who doesn't even say thank you when you get your own money back a year later.
And he doesn't pay you interest on that?
Zero. Correct. Now, if you owe them, then you pay interest to them. But if they owe you, they do not pay you interest. That's the way the game works.
Well, that doesn't seem all that fair.
If you're in that circumstance, which a lot of people are, what you want to do is change your withholding to take home more and invest the difference automatically. So a year from now, instead of having a big refund, you come out roughly even, but now that money should be invested for you to make your money grow. Have your money work for you instead of the government. How about that for an idea?
That would be a good idea. And, that compound interest can either work for you or it can work against you. If you're getting loans, it works against you. If you're saving, it works for you. It's a powerful tool, though, isn't it?
I'd much rather have positive compounding, where your interest is producing more interest, than negative compounding, where the interest you owe is pounding up, and then you owe more and more. What a big difference in your life, John.
Absolutely.
Positive and negative compounding.
Now, for people who don't have a refund coming, where they're going to be paying in, what should they be doing so next year or even this year if they're paying in? What kind of things should they be doing so they'll make sure they have those funds set aside to be able to pay in?
So you're right. People who owe should probably change their withholding as well. If you owe a lot, it means you should increase your withholding. So the aim should be to come out roughly even around this time of year, not to owe and not to get a big refund. So if you're under withheld, first of all, there's penalties, and you may owe it. Now, the other thing is if you're paying quarterly estimates, you may have to boost those quarterly estimates. So, again, you come out roughly even this time of year. So if you owe a lot this year, it means you're either under withholding or you haven't done enough quarterly estimates, and that's why that situation. Now, there may have been, a windfall or some big source of money you got out of the blue. But when you get something like that, put a quarterly estimate aside so you don't have to come up with a big amount come April, as we are right now.
That sounds like a good idea as well. Because, taxes, this is one of those things that, they say there are only two things in life that are certain, death and taxes. So taxes is one of those. And it certainly is a certain thing.
And also, don't think about it only this time of year. This is what a lot of people do, John. It's like, I'll think about it in April. It's like, no, it should be a year-round planning system so that you think of where you can maximize your deductions. Anything that's tax-deferred or tax-free, like a 401k at work. Life insurance is another area. You can get life insurance policies, but those are growing tax-free. Municipal bonds, mortgage interest. There's lots of things you can do, but you have to be thinking about these things to maximize your chances to save on taxes legitimately.
With the new president, are there any new tax rules or tax laws that you know of that are going to either be really good or really bad or indifferent?
Well, they're talking about major tax changes. So we'll see what actually gets through. But, President Trump wants to cut the individual tax rate currently from 7 brackets down to 3. Probably they'd be 33, 28, and 12. The highest now is 39.6, the lowest is 10. And then change all kinds of deductions and credits in return for that. And the same thing on the corporate side, cutting rates from 35% probably down to 15%. So these are major changes. We haven't had really a major change in the tax code since 1986, under President Reagan. So it's obviously very politically difficult. There's a lot of lobbyists who have all kinds of opinions on what should go in and what should go out. So we'll have to see. It's going to be the major issue. Now that health care is not moving ahead, this is the major issue for this year is what's going to happen to the tax code.
There you go. Well, we'll have to pay attention to that. Now, for people who do get a refund, maybe they got a refund coming, is there any place that you could recommend right now that they put that money to make it work for them as best as it possibly can, rather than just going and buying a TV or something?
Absolutely. Yeah, if they keep it in the bank, in CDs, money market funds, savings accounts, you're pretty much going to get zero for as far as the eye can see. So that's not really a good solution to make your money grow. One thing I've done myself, and I think you're aware of this as well, are what are called commercial real estate income funds. And there's a website for that, commercialrealestateincomefunds.com. They pay you 8% annually in monthly installments, which you can either take or reinvest to have your money compound at 8%. No commissions whatsoever. And there's a way to make your money grow 8% very, very safely.
That sounds like a good plan. That's a lot better than 0% at the bank.
I would say so. Doing is they're lending money to high-quality commercial real estate projects that use it for renovating or improving commercial projects over a 1-year period, and then they pay it back. And they've had a very, very long-term track record, like 35, 40 years of doing this. So it's really quite safe. But you're right. I'd much rather get 8% than 0. Again, if that helps any of you folks, the website for that, Commercial Real Estate Income Funds, with an S, funds.com.
Very nice. I'll have a link to that on our Facebook page as well to make it really easy. Jordan, thank you again so much for taking time to chat with us, sir.
Thanks so much, John. Appreciate it.
Again, Jordan Goodman, America's Money Answers Man. You can get more info on his website, moneyanswers.com, and I've got a link to some more info about that as well at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
It's almost graduation time. If you have a son or daughter finishing high school, you need to hear this. They can go to college without racking up a pile of student loans. Matthew Einstein did. He saved over $70,000 on a top-rate education. Then he built a system to show you how to do it too. Learn how you can use this system for your kids or for yourself. Go to freeeducationuniversity.com. Sign up now and get a free 60-minute private consultation with Matthew. Use promo code RADIO20 to save 20% at freeeducationuniversity.com. That's freeeducationuniversity.com.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
You have to listen closely on this, and I've got this posted on our Facebook page because every day I put one of our fun facts on there. The letters O-U-G-H can be pronounced 8 different ways in the English language. Did you know that? So this following sentence has all 8. A rough-coated, dough-faced plowman strode through the streets of Scarborough, coughing and hiccuping thoughtfully. So there's 8 different words that have O-U-G-H, and they're all pronounced differently. And you can see that whole sentence.
English is such a tough language
very
to learn.
weird. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The idiom pillar of salt means to have a stroke or to become paralyzed and dead. That's no good.
Really?
Yeah. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The ridges on the side of a coin, you know what they're called?
No.
Reading, also known as milling. So reading, R-E-E-D-I-N-G, or milling. And our final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Have you ever heard somebody say this is the ultimate whatever, ultimate anything, ultimate adventure?
Yeah.
The word ultimate, you ever wonder what that means?
I think it means the best, the
It
pinnacle.
means the ultimate in a product category or field means that you are the last. So I don't know why they would say that. Wouldn't you want to be the first? It says the last thing to happen is the ultimate. The next to last is the penultimate. And the second to the last things is the pentultimate. Something like that.
Huh.
I'm never going to use those words ever again because I can't even say them. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Are you tired of the same old 9-to-5 rat race? Sick of not controlling your financial destiny? We partner with a leading health company whose mission is to support you to build a home-based business and help others be healthier, drop excess pounds, and live longer, more rewarding lives. Best of all, everyone who joins after you is placed on your team. No bugging family or friends. Call 866-741-7242 for more information. Or if you'd like, text the word income to the same number, 866-741-7242. 866-741-7242.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Friday. This is a big weekend for a lot of people. There's a lot of people that are going to be celebrating this weekend. There's a big holiday on Sunday called Easter. And this is, believe it or not, this is the number one holiday. It says here, Easter ranks number one amongst the most popular church days of the year. So there'll be more people. Well, you would think Christmas would be right up there too. But more people go to church on Easter Sunday than any other Sunday. And I think a lot of that probably has to do with, if you are a Christian, even if you don't go all the time, you're going, he died on the cross for me. And that's what we're celebrating.
Yeah.
I should probably go to this one.
Yeah, I can totally see
the
why
Christmas
this
would be the one where like, well, he was born,
Yeah.
That's important too. It is. I'm not trying to make any light of that because that's really cool. But Easter, according to the statistics, it says number one church holiday of the year. 51.9% of adults plan to attend church this weekend. That's really cool.
That is?
152. That is the average amount of Easter spending by each person that celebrates Easter. So do you think you spent $152 celebrating Easter?
Yeah.
Do you really?
Uh-huh.
How much candy do we have?
It's not just candy.
What
I
is
also
it?
buy presents, and then we buy
Oh, that's
food
right.
for the meal.
Oh,
and
yeah. I was at the store the other day.
The booze alone.
The booze. Katie's bill is $300. I was at the store the other day, and I was just going in to grab something really quick. And when I was in there, I was surrounded by carts filled with hams and eggs. And I was like, oh, that's right. Easter is this weekend. Because I was thinking, what's with all the hams and eggs? Oh, yeah. I was thinking it was a green eggs and ham thing, but no. 52.4%. The share of Americans who say that the Easter bunny came before the Easter egg. So 52.4%. 88.7% share of Americans who believe the proper way to eat a chocolate Easter bunny is... Where do you start?
Ears first.
Ears first. 88.7% say that.
Duh.
I start with the feet and work my way up. No, I don't. And 81%.
Start with the anus.
I bite off his tail to start.
Anal probe.
80, would you just stop? 81% of parents admit that they steal Easter candy from their kids' basket.
Well, of course. They're not going to eat it all.
81% admit it. 19% of parents are liar-faced liars. All right, a couple of fun Easter facts for you on a Friday.
John and Heidi.
How much do you pay for cable or satellite? Don't forget your DVR rental fees and online movie accounts. When you add it all up, many people are paying well over $100 a month. Some pay way more. What if you could cut that down to zero? There's a device that surfs the net to find shows and programs you like with no monthly fee. Many have already cut their cable or tossed out their dish. If you have internet and a TV, you're all set. Learn more about this awesome technology that can save you money every month at channelsurfertv.com. Use promo code RADIO to save 25% at channelsurfertv.com. You might be burning extra calories right now and didn't even realize it. You ready for this, Heidi? You want to find out how many calories you can burn just sitting in your office?
Sure.
If you're just sitting around the office doing nothing, you're still doing something. Like running an energetic meeting in front of your boss, you'll burn up to 177 calories per hour.
And
So
who wants to do an hour-long meeting in front of their boss?
An
An energetic meeting.
Okay. You got a PowerPoint. I got a soundtrack. Okay. You walk
An
in.
interpretive dance.
Hit it, DJ. Wow, you were supposed to be telling us why we were losing money. I think it's because of all of these things you brought. Why'd you hire a DJ for this meeting? Another one, cleaning up your desk and surrounding area. You can burn 177 calories per hour doing that as well.
It takes you an hour to clean up your desk. You have a problem.
Would you look at my area here? Look at this stack alone. Look at that.
Yeah,
That's going to take me an hour at least. Going to have to come in one of these weekends. Delivering mail through the office. So if you're walking around handing out, 177 calories per hour there too. They have 177 calories for the first three things. I don't know if I believe this study anymore. Xeroxing and stapling or filing papers while standing, 147.5 calories per hour. Put the 0.5 in there to make us think that they're, real calculations. Writing a project or proposal by hand, 102 calories. Typing on your computer, 96 calories. Sitting through a staff meeting, 88.5 calories. How are you burning 88.5 calories sitting in a meeting? I don't know. There you go. Some things that we didn't even realize we were doing and burning calories. So I can just imagine it now. File, 1, 2, 3. Staple, 1, 2, 3. All right. We're done. 1, 2, 3. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Could eating less extend your life? Well, it's working for monkeys. A 20-year study of rhesus monkeys. I'm apparently love to eat when I say rhesus monkeys, and first I can think of is Reese's Pieces. But rhesus monkeys, spelled differently, found that cutting calories by a third slowed their aging and fended off death. It backs up what scientists have long known about mice and worms and flies, that their lifespan can be extended by deep, long-term cuts in what should be normal consumption. The study found the monkeys didn't just live longer, they were also healthier. The calorie-cut monkeys had less than half the incidence of cancerous tumors or heart disease as the monkeys who ate normally. Brain scans showed that less age-related shrinkage in the dieting monkeys as well. They also retain more muscle, something else that tends to waste with age. And the question for scientists is now whether this kind of calorie cutting would have a similar effect on human monkeys. Okay, just humans. I put the monkeys on the end of that. Do you think that's going to happen? Do you think people are going to cut their calories in half and say, I'm going to live longer now?
I don't know.
It's sure going to feel like it anyway.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think there's a lot to that. And the struggle is I just don't have the willpower to try it. Coming up, we're going to see how dirty you are. That's on the way.
John and Heidi.
It's almost graduation time. If you have a son or daughter finishing high school, you need to hear this. They can go to college without racking up a pile of student loans. Matthew Einstein did. He saved over $70,000 on a top-rate education. Then he built a system to show you how to do it too. Learn how you can use this system for your kids or for yourself. Go to freeeducationuniversity.com. Sign up now and get a free 60-minute private consultation with Matthew. Use promo code RADIO20 to save 20% at freeeducationuniversity.com. That's freeeducationuniversity.com.
John and Heidi.
Heidi, are you dirty?
No, I don't think so.
Well, we're going to find out. It says here, according to Glamour magazine, they polled about 1,000 women, and then these polls were analyzed by Dr. Billy Goldberg and Mark Leiner, authors of Let's Play Doctor, and they found which habits are unhealthy and which are just filthy but fine. You ever wear dirty clothing? You don't even need to answer these. I'm going to just say it.
Of course.
It says,
Everybody does.
a full 85% of women admit that they have, but they draw the line at re-wearing underwear.
Yes.
52% said they've even done that. So,
Oh.
How about the 5-second rule? More than 40% of women eat food that's fallen on the floor.
Well, of course.
Researchers tossed food on grimy floors and found that it was germy after just a few seconds. So the 5-second rule, not so much. Although we read a thing that said it was true. I don't know which study
It
to believe.
doesn't matter either way.
You ever go barefoot at the gym? 32% of women admit that they do it. Sorry, going barefoot is not a good thing, even at the gym. It says if you're not worried about slipping on wet feet, you should be worried about all the stuff you're going to be stepping in and end up with things like athlete's foot and planter's warts.
But you have to be in your bare feet for a little while if you're showering there or changing
Well,
there.
maybe you're supposed to wear like those shoes that you
Shower
wear.
sandals,
Yeah, shower.
your Crocs.
things. Hey, I could wear those. Brush your teeth every night. 43% of poll takers said they
Yes.
don't brush them every night. They skip brushing. If you do that, you're giving the germs in your mouth time to multiply, especially since the production of bacteria-killing saliva decreases when you go to sleep. Mm-hmm. Wow.
I brush my teeth every night. I can't
I do
sleep
every
with
morning. I
with
gotta-
dirty teeth.
That's
It
a
makes
good
me
idea
feel
now.
yucky.
Hey, how often do you shower? About a third of women said they don't lather up every day. Depends on how much they sweat. But is it unhealthy? Not so much. And the last one on the list here, washing up every time you use the bathroom. 24% of women don't wash their hands every time. They said a little time at the sink prevents a lot of germs from finding their way into your mouth and causing you nasty diseases and distresses. It says hand washing is the single most effective way to prevent the transmission of disease of almost any kind. So there you go. Always wash your hands. A couple of interesting things to learn about. We've got some good news on the way.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always try to wrap things up around here with some good news, and I have got some good news for you. This actually comes to us from, where is this? It doesn't say. Why wouldn't they say? From Channel 2 Action News. Well, that's probably in 1,000 different places. Anyway, a group of people rushed to the safety of a visually impaired man who fell onto the MARTA tracks, M-A-R-T-A, so like the subway kind of thing, or the rail. And the people that witnessed this heroic action, they said that this guy got a little too close and fell, and it looks like 1, 2, maybe 3 people jumped in that area to help him. And then the security guards showed up afterwards to help them get out. But the video comes from the other side of the tracks, and it's just amazing. This guy, absolutely fortunate that he didn't die. And if there would have been a train coming at that time, there's no way he would have survived. But amazing. I think it's awesome to see the heroism. Would you call it heroism? Is that the right word?
Heroism.
Heroism. See, there you go. The heroism in just regular people. And it happens all the time. And I would like to think that I would be one of those guys that jumped in there to do that. I would like to think I would, and I hope that I would. I've never been in a situation where I've had to do that. But, you know, I remember one time my beautiful bride, Heidi, over here, our son was eating some candy. I was driving the car, and he was in the back seat eating, was it like a Werther's Original or something?
Yes.
So he was,
Even when he was little, he was old.
he was. Our son, he's the oldest 20-year-old I've ever met. But this is when he was a little kid. Anyway, he was chewing on this thing, and it like fell down in his throat, and he was choking. And Heidi like leaped into the back seat and popped this thing out. So you're a hero too.
I think we're all heroes in our own ways every single day.
You can be.
We had a lady, we were just at a bakery the other day and we had the last chocolate donut.
And she wanted to
and
get
we had
two.
just paid for it, and she needed an extra one so that her kids wouldn't fight, and we gave her our chocolate donut. We were a hero to her.
She thought that was pretty cool, and I was like, I don't know why we got
it was
two
no
of those
big deal,
anyway,
but
so.
it meant a lot to her.
Well,
so
if you could do something
little things mean a lot to somebody
Giving up
else.
a donut.
Even sometimes just a smile and a kind word
Absolutely.
is enough to be a hero to somebody. So we can all be heroes.
Be a hero by doing that or jumping onto the rail. If you'd like to see this video, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. And it's an amazing video of this man being saved. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Have a great Easter weekend. Thank you for listening to The John and Heidi Show.